Welcome to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, a.k.a. Tony, here with some of my nearest and dearest. I got Doe, Mateo, and Pooch in the building on this lovely episode today. How's everybody doing? Doe, how was your weekend? How was your week? How was everything?
Is good. It's extra long. It was a long-ass week. You know that picture with the woman with the long ass? It's a long-ass week.
I'm not familiar with that picture.
I'm not even slightly familiar with that picture.
I'm familiar with that picture. She got that flat.
Mm-hmm. Super flat. Yeah, I got a flat tire on Monday, and that just set my week off. This is how it's going to go.
This is on the bike you just bought, right?
No, this is Dolly, my electric bike.
Oh, okay.
You named her Dolly?
Yeah, Dolly Parton. It's like, I used to love Dolly Parton.
Everyone loves Dolly Parton. You don't go after Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
That dude, Unknown Hinson from Squidbillies, that dude went after Dolly Parton.
Did he?
What do you mean he went after?
He lost his fucking job. He called her a big-titted bimbo on a tweet. And people were like, you don't go after Dolly Parton. That woman spends millions of dollars a year just giving like poor kids books and teaching them how to read. Like, you don't go after Dolly Parton. She's an American treasure.
I'm not familiar with all the great that Dolly Parton has done.
Yeah, she's very heavily involved in charity. She works a lot with like poor kids in general.
Even during because that bitch is old. She look good, but she old as an old Chevy, loyal. She done been with the same dude, and she also helped during like the racial times. She was like around during Jim Crow and shit.
Times,
Edo times.
This motherfucker's all fucked up.
I'm just saying,
Dolly Parton is an American treasure. She's done. This bitch is old. That's how you're gonna lead into your Dolly Parton fucking.
Yeah, I just want to point that out to all the fans. This man started it off on a El Caballo way.
Just El Caballo note, all right?
I'm sorry.
Out of control.
I thought the El Caballo way was, hey, welcome to the One Up Podcast.
Yeah, I don't know the B-roll. Hey,
hey,
welcome to the one that fuck.
Forget about it.
It's the one that fuck. It's one that fuck. Hey, yeah,
it's a Tony. It's a Tony Soprano.
It's Antonio.
All right.
Making the pizza.
So
he did not like that.
You were telling us how good your week has been, though. How bad and how long
it's just been so long and treacherous. And I'm glad that I finished it off with a lot of beers. But I'm also watching my beer intake now because I'm getting too white boy wasted at that bar. It's not smart.
You gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm. So I'm limiting myself to 2 beers, 1 shot. That's it. It's my limit.
Yo,
but the beers are like gigantic.
That 1 shot's gonna fucking roll into 2 shots with a free shot and then a whole nother white boy wasted moment, though.
Yeah, yesterday I did a good job. Yesterday I did great. Friday night I did a great job. So I'm doing good. I'm managing. And I feel great. And I feel great the next day. I'm not fucking vomiting. I'm not like severely dehydrated. It's like I'm good the next day. I just got to drink a little extra water.
Can you get beers to go at your bar now?
Yo, they stopped it.
Why they stopped it?
They stopped it
because they opened the bar again.
Yeah, because they're New York.
Oh,
City's
they only did that because the bars were closing.
It's because of COVID and all the restrictions in the bars, and you could drink outside.
This dick over here still got them shits going on in Florida. Niggas can do a whole bunch of to-go cups. Not like to go.
Oh, that's crazy.
You know our governors, that nigga don't give a damn about nothing.
Yeah, no, they cut that off. What you can do is you could take like a canned beer with your food to go. Somebody let me do that the other day. He was like, you just can't open it here, but yeah, you could take it, put it in the bag, and get the fuck out of here.
Can you drink on the street again? Can you still drink on the street?
Yes. Drinking on the street is not illegal, but taking to-go drinks is. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
your bar doesn't sell any like growlers? Most bars sell.
What's
like,
a growler?
They'll sell you like a jar or like a big ass like jug, and you could buy. I muted myself. You could buy the beer of your choice, and they fill that thing up.
No, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of bars you could bring your growler back and buy a different beer and they fill it up. Granted, it's not the most comfortable thing to drink out of. It's like a little mini keg or something. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
But yeah, fuck it. You could go to the bar, get your growler, walk out, crack it, and have your drink to go.
Mm-hmm. That actually sounds dope. But what have you been up to, Pooch?
Believe it or not, been playing a lot of old school video games. A lot. Nice. And
what ages? What
and shit.
Which ones? Just name a few.
Well, the other day I tweeted like about some obscure N64 games, mainly because I was bored and I just wanted to play some old games. And yeah, I got a lot of responses. So I just I've been trying some of these games out. Most of them I had already played, so there weren't that many like unique suggestions. But there was one game that I can't remember the name of right now. It is very fucking good. I'm actually quite surprised. It does not look. It looks like a PS1 game, like in scope. You know how all the N64 games, it just felt like a little small.
Yeah.
Like this game felt like a PlayStation game.
Is it Mischief Makers? Is it with the shake?
Nah. I love Mischief Makers.
I remember nothing about that game except the shake.
The shake. Nah, it's this weird fucking game. It kind of it reminds me of like Resident Evil, but it's not
Hybrid
like
Heaven?
horror.
What is it?
What was that?
What is it? Hybrid Heaven? What
Yeah, Hybrid Heaven.
Yes, I'm very. So like the craziest thing about that post is it brought me back, and although I haven't played a lot of those games, I remember going to Blockbuster and seeing these carts and seeing and I would go based off of what was on the cart, and I'm like, yo, is this shit gonna be good? Look at the back.
Man, that's an entire segment right there. That's what we should do. We should get some old box art from video games and just cut out the words or blow out the words and try to figure out if we can remember what game that box art is from. Especially with some of those old NES games. You remember the box art from Mega Man? It looked like a completely different video game than Mega Man.
It looked like some Uncanny Valley shit. It did not look very good.
I like that a lot. I like...
that sounds fun.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that sounds fun to do. A segment where we're guessing box art and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That could be cool. I also whipped out, the old Dolphin emulator, and I started playing Metroid Prime for the first time. Great game. I've been sleeping on the Prime series, all right? Because I'm a 2D bitch, all right? I like my 2D platformers. I stick to my 2D Metroid games. And I saw the 3D stuff, and I was like, man, and I understand why. The controls aren't very good. It's like when Metroid Prime is like 2002 or something like that. You're like right in the era of like those first FPS games coming out on like, PS2 and shit like that. And the controls still weren't right. Like, it's weird with just only the left stick. You're controlling the forward and backwards movement as well as the rotation, which is very strange to like. I want it on my right stick, you know what I'm saying? And then you can't look up and down without pressing another button, so, like how GoldenEye was. Like if you wanted to aim up and down, you had to hold R, and it's just feels so clunky now when you got two. And the GameCube got two sticks. It got two sticks. Like they should have set that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
At least they weren't trying to shove motion controls down your throat with that release.
And I watched a fucking god awful movie. Oh my god. My niece likes just like creepy, gory shit. Mm-hmm. So she's like, yo, we gotta watch this movie Tusk.
I've seen that one.
I'm like, Tusk.
I'm not like the opposite of Husk? Like the rival?
Nah, this is unrelated to a Husk. Dude, it is a gross movie.
It is. It's one of the
Long story short, it's not good, so I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it. This guy there's a guy, he's like a serial killer. What he does is he like kidnaps people and he mutilates them. Chopping limbs off and pulling this bone here, this bone over there, putting the skin back together how he feels, and ultimately he's trying to create a walrus out of you.
Because he was in love with the walrus.
Yeah, he was in love with a walrus, and now his walrus died, presumably of like old walrus age, which I don't know how old they got. This guy's pretty old, so for all we know, the walrus died a couple weeks ago. You know, but anyways, it's fucking disgusting. He puts these people back together, and they just look like a bag of meat, and they're like shaking around. It's fucking disgusting.
Wait, what? How old is your niece?
14.
Shit, she watching some bloody shit real quick.
Man, you don't remember being that age and watching like Chucky and like all these other movies.
But yeah, it's back in the day when there wasn't really no guidance for us kids. Nowadays, it's like fucking.
There's less guidance.
Nah, I
They
think
do whatever the
there's
hell
more.
they want.
They
I
got
think
the
there's
entire
more guidance.
They got the entire internet on their phone, dude.
Nah, there's more guidance now. Back then, parents were just like, as long as they're fucking busy, I'm good. Like, fuck out of here. That's how I
That's
don't
what
know.
parents do now. They give their kid a tablet and they walk away.
That shit's terrible.
But I mean, okay.
Well, I'm saying like terrible in a way where it's like, I'm not going to give, for example, if I go to a restaurant, I'm not going to give Luca a tablet. Like, I'm going to make him sit there and enjoy food and talk. Like, you know what I mean? At that age. As a kid, obviously right now, he's going to do what the hell he wants to do because he doesn't know no better. But whatever. All right. We're off topic.
Have you ever been to a restaurant with a 2-3-year-old,
No.
4-year-old?
No. Actually, I lied with my cousins when they were smaller, but they act up. They will get that quick. Let's go to the bathroom and check you real quick, and they'll be straight. Nowadays, you can't hit your kid nowadays. It's like an abuse. So I don't know.
I think there's an episode on this show called the One Up Podcast where we talk about that.
Yeah, we definitely talk about it. I don't know. We're beating a dead horse in terms of trying to teach Caballo about stuff. So, anyhow, how's your weekend, Mateo? How's your week? How have you been?
Some angry eyes you just saw between that mask and that hat. My week is all right. I watched Suicide Squad, that new one.
I heard it's great.
It's pretty all right. The acting in it it's fantastic. I feel like James Gunn just has like a formula for his movies, and he just runs through the same formula. Like
what's Sylvester Stallone's role in this movie? Did he write the screenplay?
He plays the shark.
But did he write the screenplay?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure James Gunn wrote his own screenplay. He tends to do that. He usually writes and directs.
Okay.
But no, it was good. I honestly like that chick playing Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie. Fantastic. Like that Harley Quinn is her. Like she has that character is on lockdown now. That's her character. Other actors are fun. John Cena and Idris Elba playing off each other it's fun to see. It's pretty solid. It's all right. It's not my favorite superhero movie of all time or anything, but it's all right.
Fucking John Cena, that's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan really paved waves for people. Right? When Hulk Hogan was Mr. Nanny, we all made fun of Hulk Hogan, right, for being Mr. Nanny, but he was opening doors for all these wrestlers. Like,
or did Andre the Giant start it?
Probably Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant was in Princess Bride. I think he was in a couple of movies, wasn't he?
Don't forget about The Rock. The Rock taking it off to the next level.
Yeah, The Rock leveled it up. Like The Rock is next level nonsense. That man's in every movie.
I'm saying that The Rock is benefiting from these older wrestlers opening them doors. Like,
how many incredible movies has The Rock made? He makes
incredible movies,
like A Pursuit of Happiness, or like, I guess that's a drama. But like, what has he done other than like action flicks that are just okay? Because that's the way I feel about The Rock. He just makes okay movies.
Sure. I mean, I don't think.
Maybe.
I am not saying that
maybe
he's a
Moana.
great actor.
Moana.
Right?
Moana would be his best one for sure.
Moana would be like his best one, right?
Right. I'm not saying that The Rock is some great actor. I'm saying that these older wrestlers, they open some doors for these other wrestlers to kind of make their way out of the wrestling industry and into acting.
I think Doey wanted a tangent into The Rock is not a great actor, which I'm down for. Like, The Rock is not a great actor. He was good in Moana. The first Jumanji was all right, but
I thought it was great.
All his movies are the fucking same, man. It's always the same. The Rock just plays The Rock.
Tony, what's your favorite Rock movie? Like, it couldn't be done without him.
Tony's gonna say Escape from the Rock.
Fast and Furious?
No, Fast and Furious is okay. I would Moana probably.
Yep,
we said the same thing. Wow,
like,
good job.
If I would say Fast and Furious because that shit makes millions of money, but that's just off hype that it makes millions of money. But other than that, I can't. Nothing sticks out to my head like, oh, that's a great Rock movie. I'd rather watch Steven Seagal fight 100 fucking people than watch The Rock fucking try to look for a Rock movie that was good.
Nah, all right. I'll take that back. I would much rather watch The Rock than Steven Seagal. Oh my God. Bros. Yo, talk about some of the worst movies ever produced.
It was a different time.
I like when he's doing like karate and like it's obvious the man doesn't want to do anything that involves physical effort. So it's just a camera in his face and you just see his hands moving and then it cuts to the other person just reacting to all these punches.
That's all
terrible. So like those early what was this terrible fucking Chuck Norris movie? It was fucking horrible. I used to love it as a kid. Where like there's like this little boy. It's like Last Action Hero, the same movie pretty much. It's like there's this actor that this kid loves, or this martial artist that this kid loves, and he keeps envisioning himself in all these movie scenes. But every time Chuck Norris fights, you just see him like punching at the camera, and then the camera switches. You just see hands hitting people. Like it's like it was fucking horrible. Yeah.
Cinematic masterpiece.
Just terrible.
Tony, how you doing, Tony? How's your week?
Terrible.
Terribles?
Yeah, wife's got COVID.
Les enfants terribles.
Damn. Wife's got
terrible children.
COVID. Fucking. So took off work Thursday and Friday to go get tested and to watch the kid. Her mom's got like bronchitis and pneumonia. I'm starting to have like flu-like symptoms. The kid's got congestion in his nose. That's why I was wearing a mask when I was holding him.
Her mom went to the doctor.
Yeah, her went to the doctor, got tested. She doesn't have COVID, but
no, I'm saying because how do they have like who told her she has pneumonia?
Oh, her doctor. Yeah, she went when she went to go get tested for COVID. She also got tested because she's been dealing with like bronchitis for a while, and then that shit became pneumonia. So now it's like, okay, you got that, and now your daughter's got COVID. So that's a perfect fucking combination of a shit sandwich right there. So, you know, she's been isolated into the room. Her mom's been everybody in this house been wearing a mask besides Luca. Mm-hmm. I took him to the doctors on Thursday, I forgot which day. And the doctor pretty much told me there's nothing we could do for your son. He's probably have COVID. He probably has COVID because the mother probably gave it to him. The worst thing that's going to happen to him, he has just like a flu. I mean, there's nothing to do for him. You know, just keep him away from old people. He's like, if you really want to find out if he has it or not, take him to a urgent care and have him test him, swab him. And then you'll find out in like 2 days or whatever, but there's nothing you can do. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to expose him to more people in urgent care. So I was like, fuck it. If he's not going to, you know, knock on wood, dramatically happen, you know what I mean, to him, I'm not going to even expose him to more fucking people. So just brought him home, kept him away. I've been sleeping on the couch with him, making sure, you know, because I'm out of all of them, I'm the healthiest one here. So it's just like, even though I'm getting sick now, so I've been just wearing a mask and trying to.
You got a fever?
No fever. Just got a head cold and mad like
a lot of
blockage. Sinus. Yeah, sinus.
Okay, so it's like a cold, not a flu.
Yeah,
flu is like when you start feeling them body aches or you start getting the chills or fevers, and then you're now in flu territory.
So then just, you know, regular shit. But But yeah,
That's good.
That's
It's
rough,
bad,
man.
but I mean, it's good that you're not experiencing flu-like symptoms.
No, yeah. And she's doing good too. She's not Emily. She's not dying of air or oxygen, you know. And she's not even vaccinated. So I was assuming, like, when I found out she got it, that it was gonna be like worse shit. But you know, for the most part, she's just laying in bed. She's like, obviously she had fevers, no smell, no taste. So, which is weird. I couldn't imagine what having no taste buds is like. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just try new shit, lobsters and seafood, because I don't
mean,
eat that
you can't
shit.
eat things that you're allergic to. That's not what you can't. That's not what you should do. You can't eat
Who's
things
allergic
that you're.
to seafood?
Well, my bad, because I'm thinking about myself. I'm sorry.
Doey's
Oh.
allergic to seafood, so he thinks everybody's allergic to seafood. So
Yeah, I'm
Doey
not
doesn't
allergic.
actually even know that he's allergic to seafood. Doey assumes that he's allergic to seafood.
that's a fact.
Really though.
No. I mean, I haven't tried seafood in a while, so maybe I should try it. They say every couple of years you should just try the things you're allergic to see if you're still allergic to them.
Wait, who says this?
Yeah, who?
Doctors,
Yeah,
Do doctors say
Allergen.
this?
allergens, yeah, allergen specialists. Yep, they
yeah,
say
your allergies change over time. But
every couple of years.
I don't know if it's like that for like peanut allergies and stuff like that. Like those, I think those allergies tend to hit people a little harder. I think you know. I don't think your doctor's gonna tell you, hey, you know, go try to eat that peanut butter again. You know,
Yeah, that's,
you'll fucking just your throat will seize up and you'll just die. Like, but
but yes, yeah. For the most part, she's good. She said if she didn't have COVID, like if she wasn't showing positive, she'll just go to work because she'll treat it like a normal thing. But since she's positive, obviously she's not going nowhere. And but yeah, she's good, man. She's breathing on her own. So I'm kind of happy that she had, well, not that she has COVID, but she has like the lighter version of COVID, I guess, if that's a thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's not as dramatic as what happened to other people that we know. So, you know.
If y'all want to be extra cautious, I can send you a link to a thing. They sell those finger things. You can check blood oxygen levels, just so she can keep track of that. If it drops under, I think 92%, that's when you want to start, going to the doctor. To a hospital.
Yeah.
I'll shoot you a link to that. My boss just caught COVID this past week, so my coworker gave him the exact same like link to this thing. So I can send that your way, so you can.
That's fire. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Cool.
Other than that, man, good. Sleepless nights, back pains from the couch. I'm all right. I'm alive. Everyone's alive that I know and love, so can't complain. But we did forget. How was Leon's birthday party, Pooch?
Ooh.
I seen
Happy
Elmo.
birthday, Leon.
I saw that y'all had a VIP at that party.
Facts.
I know. Elmo himself came from Sesame Street, pulled up to the crib.
Pulled up.
It was lit. Yo, I gotta. A lot of people were recording and stuff. I gotta find some videos of when Elmo entered the room. My daughter got fucking hyped. Like,
yeah,
it was nuts. Like, she was standing on we bought her like this fucking. I wouldn't call it like a gymnastics thing, but it's like an obstacle course kind of thing. So we have like all these little different shapes that she could stand on and stuff. She was standing on one of those like squares, like a platform. When Elmo walked in the room, she couldn't. She was just like hopping, like just hype. I was like, oh, this is fucking crazy. It was the cutest shit ever, yo.
That's fire.
And then she ran out, she hugged him, and then she started dancing with Elmo, and she was just,
Oh,
she was enjoying her time with her so-called best friend. Even though I pay bills and take care of her, but side B. She already getting jiggy with Elmo. She don't care about her pops no more. So.
I could see Doey putting on an Elmo costume and performing at a kid's birthday party.
I would love to do that.
Was it somebody you knew?
That's what I was about to ask. Oh wow, this is a actor.
Yeah, we hired a person to come to the house.
I would have gladly put that suit on.
Nah, that suit looked professional. That wasn't no
hot.
Yeah, that was not no like rinky dink costume.
Could you imagine going in there and just coming out 5 pounds lighter because of all the sweat that's just dripping? That might work.
I mean, I wouldn't want to put on someone else's suit.
I like that part of Liana's investigation of Elmo was her poking at his feet because she was curious about his little fuzzy toes.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know what the hell was going through her mind. She walked up to Elmo and was like, hold on, let's see if this is really Elmo. And she started poking at his feet. And she's just like, yep, real deal.
Yeah, bro. Bro, you could just never be as happy as a kid, like seeing her fictional character just at her party. Like that's just happiness that we can't reach no more.
My mom did that for me for Barney. It's pretty cool.
You like Barney growing up too?
Man, I was 5 years old. Of course I did.
I was a Barney
How
fan.
defensive he is. Why you?
Yeah,
Everybody liked Barney when they were
I'm still
children.
like defensive as a little kid.
I missed it. I was too old for Barney. I did not get the Barney thing.
Nah, I fucked with Barney.
I loved Sesame Street. I loved Barney. All that shit.
Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers for me. Mr. Rogers is the man.
Question: Sesame Street. Those two guys, was it Burke and Ernie? Were they?
Apparently, they're suggesting now that they are.
Okay.
Sesame Street said for the longest time that they were not. That they were just two homeboys that happened to live together in the same house for 30 years. And only interacted with each other. And it's like those old actors that they were obviously gay back in like the Silver Age of cinema. But they were like, there are two hetero life partners. They're living their best bachelor life. It's like, no, those two are dating. Those two share a 1-bedroom house.
I always found it funny though, right? Even to this day, how everyone's like, Grouchy, you're so angry. He was like, this nigga's living in a trash can, my nigga. He is physically
Oscar?
homeless, or was it Oscar?
Yeah,
Oscar the Grouch or something, right?
This nigga called him Grouchy.
Well, yeah, whatever. But that nigga
Grouchy
was
the
tight.
Grouch. Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah, the birthday party was cool. We invited like a lot of fucking people, and then as this COVID shit got bad, we were kind of like, all right, we had to tone the invite list back, which was kind of whack, like uninviting people pretty much. But
yes,
Nah, it's
better than people getting sick. So I'm saying, fuck it, I don't care that much.
yeah, it's special circumstances kind of times.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that, man. People salty, man. People out here making stances, pandemic stances. Like,
You know what else some people were salty about? It was Back for Blood.
the Back for Blood.
Are we talking monthly Back for Blood or just the game Back for Blood?
I think we're talking the video game Back for Blood because I don't think anyone on this podcast currently has a ton of experience.
I can be salty. What the hell? I got a wife. I got needs.
Terrible. Oh my god.
It's a joke to all the podcast fans out there. Back for Blood.
I don't know if it's a joke. I mean, everybody hates menstruation. I don't know anybody who likes it, so we get to all shit on it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Back for Blood though, the video game open beta, been out for what 3-4 days now.
Yeah, I think so. Sounds right.
Everybody here has played it. Unfortunately, I didn't play it with Pucho or Mateo that night because I was with little man and I was extremely tired. But I played it with Doughboy and Jesus, and I have a list here
Well,
of
got a
complaints.
list of complaints.
So
Gonna
I
air
would
some
like
grievances.
I would like to start it off if you guys don't mind.
Festivus. It's the airing of grievances.
The first one on my list.
Hold on. Before we go down the list of grievances, can we just go around the room and say if we liked it or not?
Oh, all right. Yeah.
A
My
little
bad.
thumbs up or thumbs down. And Doey, when I'm saying this, it's just really like a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Last time we did this, I asked for a thumbs up and then you just talked for 10 minutes. I was like, all right, but even at the end of it, I didn't even know if you gave it a thumbs up or a thumb. I was shocked. I was like,
I fucking love that shit. That he's tight. You tight right now. That's crazy.
we got to remember, it's all fun and games, guys. We love each other. All right. I give it a thumbs up. I think it's good for what it wants to be. It's a horde zombie shooter.
Same. Thumbs up for me.
Thumbs up.
The gunplay in that game is fantastic. I think the gunplay feels nice and tight.
The blood too.
Not enough fucking bullets.
We did run out of bullets in one of those missions real bad.
So
But
that's
go ahead,
also-
Tony. Do your grievances.
All right. So on my list of grievances, I'm going to start off the first one.
Can we address these grievances after you give like each one, or do you want to go through your full list and then
It's going to be a quick. It's literally like 3-4 tops. Quick.
Okay.
First one. Fuck Doughboy. That's the first one. The reasoning behind fuck Doughboy, this looting Borderlands bitch just fucking swipes all the boxes, all the coins, while me and Jesus are doing the fucking work. We're back to Borderlands, boys. That's the first one.
He was doing it to us on night one. I didn't even have the stomach to complain about it because we were talking serious business.
I was going only snipers because I knew Doit wasn't using snipers and he wasn't going to steal them from me.
That's tactical as fuck. And they're strong weapons too, by the way. My second one, the ammo supply. It is very scarce. So last night playing with Doughboy and Jesus, I kind of figured out like we all need to have our own set of guns. Yep. We need like assault, SMG, sniper, melee / assault or whatever. You know, like the fourth person randomly picks a gun or whatever, but it has to be or it has to be cautious of or conscious of what the fuck you're doing. Right? That's one. That's my two. Number 3. The fact that the game, I don't know, for me, maybe because it was a beta, but every time it was very janky and jerky when you were shooting the guns. Like if you didn't have a sight on it, that fucking gun is just all over the place.
Yeah, a lot of them travel a lot. The compensator that you can get and put on the front of the gun cuts down the recoil quite a bit. Some of the stocks help with that. But yeah, some of those guns jump, especially the assault rifles.
The M60 jumps. I was using it last night. That shit is just all over the place. I mean, and I get it. It's kind of realistic, like, you know, aiming down sights with it. But I think some of them were just a little too much. Just like a little too much. And then the fourth one is the decks of cards. I didn't really understand any of that.
Hates that.
I fucking hate those fucking decks.
I at all.
It's based their way of doing like a skill tree, upgrade tree kind of thing. But it's a weird way to do it. And I hope this game has a very well fleshed out tutorial because there's a lot of things in the game that are just not explained. Like the birds. Like,
oh no, they alert the zombies. Fucking Doughboy, my nigga, and Jesus, both of y'all dicks. These guys, I'm like, yo, there's birds there. I know these birds are alerted. The game says birds may alert herds. Don't walk over there, Doughboy. All the fucking birds went barking, and then the fucking hordes of zombies, and then the exploder bitch came. We died instantly. We restarted the level again. Same shit.
I love that Dowie would see these birds. He would see them and he'll start shooting at them. So he'll just shoot them and then it'll say, "Oh, someone's alerted the horde."
Pucho and I did set off 2 hordes intentionally when the 3 of us were playing because Dowie had gone AFK, and so the dude that we were playing with was just running. He was just sprinting through the stage. So Pucho was like, "Should I set off these birds to slow him down?" We're like, "Yeah, set off the birds. We have to fight a horde."
But no, I mean the game is fun though, and the blood in that game is crazy. Like you're fucking drenched in blood like halfway through the. I'm trying to figure out if maybe there's a way where you could play the game without getting blood on you. Like if you could just kind of just like shoot them from afar or something, because it's crazy. Like one shot and I'm just drenched.
I think the blood is actually a little bit over the top. Like you get drenched immediately when you shoot one of those zombies.
Yeah,
or the ridden, as they call them. I don't like that. I don't like the ridden name.
Ridden.
Yeah, the ridden. I didn't understand.
Yeah, they're zombies, dude. Just call them zombies.
And then they got a verse mode too. I didn't understand the verse mode. Like it's like us 4 can verse each other. Like I didn't play it. So
it's basically the 4 survivors, and then the if it's the way that it used to be in Left 4 Dead, it's so the other team basically controls the zombies. They control like the special characters. So like that tall dude, what were you calling him, Booch?
Org?
Albert Wesker.
William Birkin.
Oh yeah, William Birkin. Yeah, there you go.
He does a super punch on you. He runs up with his fist all cocked.
He looks like the main villain from Resident Evil 2.
Oh, okay.
That dude was running up on us one time, and I think it was either me or Pooch. We closed the door on him when he was over there charging at us.
Because
He
that
started
works.
breaking the door down.
Oh, that's cool too. That you can't break the door down.
Mm-hmm.
And it did a piss, and I think it was also a beta, and it did a piss poor job of explaining shit because it was a locked door, and me and Doughboy were just trying to get into it because all we see is coins in there, and so both of us were being a little thirsty to get in the door. So and then these digs didn't even explain to me that there's a shop in the loading part. So I'm like, oh look, there's a toolkit here. I'll buy it. So everybody goes in. No one thinks about buying it. I bought it though. I go to that room.
Doesn't let anybody know that
Doughboy
he bought
circles back. Oh,
Nah.
wow. Oh, you don't let no one know that. Wow. How'd you get in here? I'm like, there's a toolkit that you could buy at the shop that everyone knew about before me, but y'all didn't.
Anybody knew about it. Nobody was opening that thing up. Nobody knew about it.
Yeah, right. And then next thing you know, he starts getting Jesus on his side. Oh, wow. This nigga always just wants everything for himself. I'm like, yo, all I did was grab the coins and my ammo, and I left. Like, what are you talking about?
I love that it says on the screen how much other people are picking up. I love it.
I thought it was shared. I thought if one person picked up, everyone got coins.
Nah.
You get like a fraction.
Yeah.
So, like, if you pick up 100, I think we get like half. But I don't know. I like the game. I think a couple areas of improvement, and hopefully, man. But these developers, they make these betas just as like a hype demo. And then, like, they don't go back and really fix all this shit. But I'm hoping they address the ammo situation. I don't know if it's that the guns aren't accurate enough, so you waste a lot of rounds, or the zombies take too many bullets, or I don't know what the fuck. But it feels like you just run out of ammo.
I think we were going through the stage real slow, and so we were fighting more zombies because the zombies just spawn forever, right? Like they never stop. You can't clear an area of zombies completely because they're gonna pop back, right? I think we didn't really test that too much.
You didn't get this far, Tony, but there are some pretty cool, like they play some pretty cool tricks, like little gameplay elements. Like I liked when we were loading up those shells into that mortar and like shooting off. That like stuff like that was real cool. Even going down and blowing up the boat, that was really cool. The problem with last night with Tony, we would have gotten further if we didn't play on hard. Hard is like another level.
Yeah, we're playing on like the novice level or whatever, and even that shit got difficult. But it was our first time. It was our first time playing, so
we're playing hard with 35% friendly fire on because that's the hard thing.
Couldn't even make it out the first level, bro. It took like an hour and a half to make it out of the first little chapter.
Yeah, and if you play with Jesus, just know he's gonna shoot you in your back and blame you for being in his way.
Doey shot me pumped full of lead and kept blaming me for it.
Doey shot me a lot. There one time I was standing still and somehow he shot me and he said that I walked into his line of fire.
Yo, those the fucking worst, bro. It's funny,
dude.
It's funny too because that fat guy, the fat character, I told Doughboy, "Oh, that's your character automatically. Don't pick nobody else." He was like, "Oh, I played that last night." I'm like, "All right, cool. That's your character. Don't pick nobody else." Jesus had the black guy. I had Holly or Molly.
I like Holly. I go Holly all day.
Holly. Yeah, I liked Holly.
I played Mom, old lady.
Oh, you had Mom? Oh, I didn't get that character yet. Oh, you guys did play a lot more of the game.
I mean, it's not like I unlocked her. Maybe it's just on PC. I don't know.
Yeah, no, everybody picked up character and he didn't get to pick Mom.
No, she was locked. There was like 4 locked characters there.
Huh. Yeah, it should be like the conspiracy theorist dude, and then no, I mean the character models are great. Like the game is very pretty. There was some weird frame rate stuff that we saw at the camp. I don't know if it was if it carried over to the actual gameplay itself though. But Bucha was like stutter walking. I think he said I was also stutter walking whenever we were like moving around the camp.
Yeah, and it also felt like sometimes my gun would double shoot. I'd pull the trigger one time on like a semi-automatic weapon, and it'll fire 2 rounds. I'm like, that
might be another reason we were running out of ammo because those guns definitely had some kind of bug where they were double shooting.
See,
it was tripping me up. I thought my mouse was fucked up, and then Mateo had the same complaint, and I was like, all right. This is a problem, right?
I thought the same thing. I was like, I just bought this mouse like a month ago. Like, don't tell me it's already double clicking and going out.
That's the advantage of console, because with the console, bro, the fucking controller on the PS5, that dual,
I love it. Yeah, it's
you
so
can
good.
you can feel the trigger getting tight as soon as you pull that trigger, and it just goes. You don't even got to do it. It's like a hairpin trigger. Like you don't even got to go all the way. And then of course the auto aim assist thing. Oh, you just tap L2, boom, headshots every time. So I was conserving a lot of ammo by doing that, just tapping and shooting one time. And then obviously PC you don't have that, but you got more precise aiming when it comes to the mouse. So
yeah, my main complaint though overall is the objectives seem to change rather abruptly, and it felt like the game didn't clearly communicate those objectives.
I felt the
Like,
same exact
we
way.
would be in the middle of like killing a horde of zombies, and then it would transition to like, okay, this is an endless stream. You'll never kill these guys, so you just need to run. But it's like it didn't make that immediately obvious. So sometimes we'd stick around and we would kill zombies for like 10 minutes. Like, and I'm like, these shits won't. And then we're like, we're all running out of ammo. And then we're like, oh, this is okay. We're supposed to run away on this part. And then we start running away. But it's like the game didn't make that clear. Even the part where we were loading the mortars, the icon was like near the thing we were trying to shoot with the mortars. It didn't indicate where the rounds were, nor what we were supposed to load. It was just something we happened to figure out. You know what I mean? But it was after like, I think we had died already on that area. So it was like, it was late into it that we died. It was like, all right, we figured it out. We're going to respawn. Then we could try it again. But like those types of things, I don't know. I didn't like that.
Well, even the boat, even the boat, the first time that the first run on the boat, we suicide bombed the boat because we didn't realize we were supposed to run away from the explosive. We were just down there shooting zombies. And the Pooch
we
was
planted the bomb and we got hit with a horde. And we were killing the entire horde.
And the Pooch was like, wait, we got 10 seconds to get off this boat. I was like, well, we're fucked. We're not making it off this boat.
That's
crazy.
Terrible. Did y'all record any of that gameplay?
Nah, we were talking about doing that. Got a full Sunday free if we want to record some gameplay.
Yeah, I'll be down to play after we do, our jobs, I guess. Make sure to get it done quick. But yeah, no, that game's fun. Oh, Doughboy, so after talking shit before playing the game to now, what? You was like, oh, I'm not interested in that game. It's just another zombie. You was talking shit about it.
You did talk shit about it.
Pucho was there. I don't know if Mateo was there or Pucho was there.
Yeah, he was saying that he didn't look that interesting to him. Like it just, yeah.
It's more interesting than I thought.
All right,
cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad
more
it changed
than I thought. I like it, but it still doesn't excuse why we couldn't be playing World War Z or any of these other ones.
We played that
because it just didn't feel as good.
and this looks way better.
Wasn't one of those games like a third-person shooter?
World War
Z is
a
a third-person
World War
shooter.
Z, yeah.
I felt like that shit feels weird too. I'm not a big fan of third-person shooters. Like if there's a third-person shooter, you need good controls. Like you feel the bad controls like immediately. Like you look at a game like Fortnite. When you see Fortnite in third person view, the game just looks janky. Like it doesn't look like it's meant to be played like in third person. Or like when you play like the Fallout games, it's a first person shooter, but it lets you change it to third person. That third person view looks atrocious. And that's how the other bullshit that the World War Z game, that's how it feels. It feels like a janky, it doesn't feel good like an Uncharted or something.
Well, I never even got into like Gears of War. Like I've tried playing those games. I did not like that cover shooting like gameplay in that game.
I don't know. I loved Metal Gear, and me and Doyle used to play the shit out of Metal Gear Online.
Max Payne, I'll play Max Payne any day. Those Max Payne is a fantastic third-person shooter.
Any game that's got over-the-shoulder, left or right fucking shooting is trash to me. I'd rather play third-person. Yeah, I fucking hate that Gears of War shit.
Person.
No, it's the shoulder view. Third person is centrally behind them in the back. That shoulder view that Gears of War have, I hate that shit.
What do you mean?
It's
doesn't Last of Us kind of have the shoulder view too?
Sort of, but not as bad as Gears of War. Gears of War, you're on the right side of that nigga or that dude's body.
I don't know if that's not third person, but I know what you're talking about. There is that difference between having the camera behind and having the shoulder kind of like that arm cam kind of thing.
I mean, it's different if it's very close. That could be, it might not feel that great. I personally like when I'm playing a third person game and it's not right behind, it's a little off to the side. Because that's where you're aiming. It looks fucking weird when it's right in the middle. That like World War Z looks like it's right in the middle. And then it's also fucked when the games don't let you switch shoulders. That's the worst. You're gonna make me play a third person shooter and you're not gonna let me switch which hand is holding the gun.
Shit makes no sense.
It feels terrible. Like you could get perfect pot, you could pot shot like coming out of this side, but out of this side, your whole body has to be exposed before you can shoot. It's like, I don't know. It just looks silly to me. I don't know.
But yeah, I agree with you, Pucho. I do like the Metal Gear Solid Online, the way that they had that. When Phantom Pain dropped and we were playing I don't know, were you playing the online with us, Pooch? Or was it just me and Doe?
I didn't even think Phantom Pain had online.
Yeah, it had online.
Oh, it did. I didn't play it like the fob stuff.
That forward running base, operating base.
No,
I didn't play it too much. We did a few, I think. But.
No, they had a team 5v5, 6v6 thing where you had to either kill them or capture them and send them off to your like they had it. That shit to me was amazing. There was one game where I fucking wrecked, but I liked it.
Right. I forgot about that. I remember thinking it was okay.
Could you kill people with the box slide?
Sorry, go ahead, Mateo.
Could you kill people with the box slide in that multiplayer one?
You can avoid
definitely
them.
Knock them down.
Yeah, but you can avoid them too. And it's crazy because I didn't get that either. In multiplayer, like if you got close to it, you're like dazed for a second. Like it's weird. Like you're like, oh, what is this box? Like I thought that was stupid. Like it's not an AI. This is an actual person. Like I don't know how that would. Like I know that's a box. Like this man's trying to distract me with. Like how do I get caught in this? Like I thought it was dumb.
I don't know. I thought it was cool. It's like it's an aspect. Like basically, all the soldiers in the game feel the same way. They feel like it's obviously the player, but it's like a spell. They got caught in like a trap. I don't know. It's like if you saw a box, you're never going to be fucking confused by the box. So if you saw it, you should have shot it. If you walked into it, that's your bad. Like you shouldn't have walked into it. The worst was in Metal Gear Online when these pieces of shit used to put the porno magazines on the ground. You'd walk into the magazine and your character would stay there for like 2 minutes. You're like, get the fuck off. They're going to catch me. And then right when your animation's about to end, someone hits the corner. Yo, because that game is like Counter-Strike. One shot to the head, your character's dead. So, you'd hit a corner, your character just fucking collapsed. It was disheartening. I'd try to hit the corner and like 17 times in a row, I'd get headshotted. Like, it was devastating.
That's fucking.
But anyways, I enjoyed Back 4 Blood. Overall, it feels too similar to Left 4 Dead. And it may not be a bad thing because there's not a Left 4 Dead 3 for people to play. So maybe this fills like that niche that people are wanting. For me, I enjoyed Left 4 Dead a lot, but something about those games, it just has like a boring vibe. Like once I play once I'm replaying a level, I'm just not having that much fun anymore. And then the fact that you're just like repeating the same things and it's not like super dynamic, it just gives me like it makes me sleepy. And so I had fun now playing the level the one time, but I not only do I know that it's gonna make me tired like the next time I play, I know it's gonna happen for a fact because those levels are too fucking long. And there's too many. We played one campaign for like 3 hours. It was ridiculous. It never ended. It never ended. I feel like we didn't beat it. These guys said we beat it.
Yeah, we
I don't
beat
believe
it,
it.
dude.
We loaded a gun and these guys hopped in a Humvee. It was very anticlimactic.
It was so anticlimactic. Like the thing ended and Butch was like, yeah, we got one more stage coming out. We'll see what happens. And it's rolling credits.
It was over. I was like, we're done.
It should have ended on the ship.
It felt like there should have been a boss fight.
Yeah, I like the boss fights, but I wanted them to be more.
I wanted them to be longer, honestly.
Right, and more important, like yeah, exactly, longer. You know, for it to be like the climax of a level,
Give
shit
it,
like that.
give us some weird mechanics too. Like make us like shoot like some shit off the ceiling that falls on him and damages him. Don't let us just pump bullets into the big, huge dude.
I think one aspect of this is think about when Left 4 Dead came out, bro. The Source engine was still at its prime. And look at what we got from the Source engine. We got Team Fortress, we got Counter-Strike, we got Left 4 Dead, Half-Life. I think
Portal.
I just think it's the technology, bro. I don't know where's that next step. Where's the wow factor? You know what I mean in the game. And if it's not going to be done with graphical elements, you're going to have to make the gameplay as fun as possible.
I mean, I was running this thing on 4K, like ultra settings. Like the game looked gorgeous to me. I've got no complaints about that, except for some of the frame rate jankiness and shit like that. But I'm assuming they're going to sort that out.
Because the frame rate stuff, it wasn't even that I was getting like frame drops because of the game's performance. It was like they had some bug where it would like stutter the character, and it wasn't a network thing, because I felt it. It looked like it was happening to me as I'm playing. I could look at Mateo and it was happening to Mateo. Mateo's looking at me. He's saying he sees it happening to me. It seemed like they had some kind of a positional issue in their programming or something like that. Some rounding error or some bullshit like that.
No, I think what this game is going to need to survive, because I agree. Like, I think that if you're just playing through the levels, it's going to get old. It needs to have the same thing. Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead still has like 15,000 concurrent players like playing every day, like something crazy like that. Left 4 Dead 2 still has that because they have good Steam Workshop support, and that's what this game is going to need. It's going to need a very very community based approach to making fresh levels and keeping the game alive.
I do think that the wow factor that you were saying earlier, Doughboy, like everybody's wild right now with the whole shooting fruits and it being able to be destroyed. Elements like that in games, right, where games will be on that next level. Like it was Metal Gear back then, like Pucho said in another video, that stepping in the snow and leaving your footprints behind, that was a wow factor. Doing certain things in a game where your shadow's reflecting off certain shit, or the water movement every time you step on certain games, like that really falls on the developer. Like the technology and the design is out there. They can do that for almost every game. You know what I mean?
I didn't like the way it felt when you shot a zombie. I just felt like they collapsed to the floor. I felt like there's something else that could be there.
You want dismemberment is what you want.
I also didn't. That would be nice. The boss design wasn't. I didn't like the boss design.
That big thing was a boss, right?
That big guy was like a mid boss. Yeah, I don't know, man. It just, for me, that shit, I guess, felt very 2010-ish to me. There's one game that I wish a lot more people would copy off of, is Max Payne 3. They have this this design element in like the game where if you shoot somebody in the shoulder, their shoulder will move. They're unable to shoot and they start trying to cover the wound and stuff like that. There's like elements in games that I wish like they would push on to, like, but like that's the last time I saw anything like that. Like that game actually is, it makes you feel weird when you see that, like somebody holding their wound and you're still shooting them. It's like really fucked up.
Well, I don't think you're going to get that in a zombie game, but I do agree that the bullets do feel like, especially fighting the boss, like the bullets felt like they lacked any weight. We just pumped bullets into the boss, and it wasn't like he was bouncing around because he was getting shot. He's just not reacting.
Yeah.
I'll have to check on the zombies. I don't remember the zombies actually show any reaction to, like, that the bullets have any impact or anything.
I've seen somewhere they'll just bounce, like they'll be like pop, 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 and then you just drop them. But I mean,
they only take like 2 shots.
Yeah, I mean, we were playing on novice too, and I think those zombies were dying in 1 shot. So maybe we didn't even get to see that shit, because I don't think there was a single zombie I had to shoot more than once.
Damn, man, dead shot over here.
No, I mean, this was shooting him in the fucking leg, because we were playing on the lowest difficulty. Shot him in the leg and he fell straight to the ground. I was like, doesn't even matter where I shoot him. I don't know why I got a sniper. I don't even need to shoot him in the head.
Yeah, I think the type of details that Doe's like looking for, like Mateo says, I don't know how much that gives you in a zombie game. Like, I don't know. I think in different genres of games, you're gonna get like
look
different types of elements. Like,
look at what World War Z does. World War Z is more creative in that aspect. Like you get to set up your traps. You get to and when the zombies start dying in one area, they start to pile on top of each other, and that's how like they can get up to you. Like there's
that's cool, but there's no. That's like an arena horde game. Like this is like you're going through a level, so it's like you don't really get an opportunity to like really.
I mean,
set traps or whatever.
We piled up some bodies on the way to that boat. Like there was a stack of zombies on the way to that boat.
Back 4 Blood had wire traps. I bought a wire trap and threw it out, and it slowed the zombies down. It's not like World War Z, but it slowed them down enough to where you can able to load.
I heard World War Z was trash. I've watched gameplay footage of it, and it doesn't look good.
It's not bad. It's really not bad.
Shit is garbage.
It's not bad.
I'd rather
dude. Easy made me play that zombie army game. That's bad. Okay, you want to play a fucking bad fucking zombie horde game? Just as easy.
But yeah, I mean, as far as details in gaming, I like though. Like, there's this game like Plants vs Zombies. Like, I really like that game, but like the way that the
I like that game too.
I'd rather watch.
Hey, there's a new Plants vs Zombies that just came out on PlayStation.
It just dropped.
Plus. Though he said we're all gonna play. We got no excuse not to. We all got it.
The sad thing
he said if we like Back 4 Blood, we have no excuse to not play Plants vs Zombies.
No
with
excuse.
him.
The sad thing is, I already added it to my library and knew that Doughboy saw it and he would be pressuring us.
Oh, I've got news, boys.
You got a PS5?
I'm getting one on Friday. Maybe. I'm not sure. Is it worth it for me to get a PS5 at this point?
Yes.
It's not.
Yes,
because you're getting the Steam Deck controller or the Steam Deck console thing.
Don't matter.
But yeah,
I'm saying like, Mateo's like, if you could get it like 5 months from now, it's probably be a better time to get a PS5.
I'm worried that I'm worried that's going to be
play with us.
I'm worried that's going to be harder to get one in 5. It's not going to be any easier to get one in 5 months than it is now.
It's going to be hard.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
especially because
it's
going to be around Christmas time. Everyone like this need for PS5 is just going to get higher for everyone.
Dude,
it's a disc one. I wanted to get a discless, but I'm not going to be that picky about it.
I wanted to get a discless.
Bro, you know how hard it is to get a disc? First off, getting a disc. You got a discless?
Mm-hmm.
This shit sounds really close to.
Dickless.
But anyways,
wait, let me check
is way
quick.
easier to say.
I don't think you have a discless.
Yeah, I think you have a dick.
You have a dick.
He's gonna come back. I got a dick, guys.
I got a dick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would have been so jealous months ago.
It's so
I knew I
hard.
didn't feel jealous about you. So.
Yeah, the discless one just looks so sleek. It just looked better. It didn't have that weird little tumor on the side.
And
it's symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
It's symmetrical. Like it's thick here, it gets thin, and then it gets thick again. Perfect. Like everybody likes their discless, but the dick one, it just has a weird hump. Like who wants a side hump?
Nobody wants love handles. That's what I call it.
I mean, that love handles are. I like love handles.
Yeah, love handles are great.
We're talking about one love handle. You're flat on one side, and you got a.
You have one on the right side or something.
Love handle.
That's a love handle.
That's still pretty good.
I don't think I've ever just flat, sure, but in this case, we're going for symmetrical.
I don't think I've ever met a person with a love handle, just a single one.
It's not. There's no way. There's no way. I do want to. I want to send my PS5 to this artist. I saw him on YouTube, and he'll draw shit on people's PS5s, and it come out nice. I want to do that, but at the same time, I want to just have my PS5 blacked out.
That shit is cool, man. I think some of those those designs that people do on their own on the PlayStations, on the Xboxes, that some of those are awesome. Some of those are really damn cool. I've seen some people do like some custom Zelda themed like Nintendo like Joy-Con paint jobs and dock paint jobs. Like some talented people out there.
I just feel I don't feel safe sending a PS5 to anybody because how hard it is to get one. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm good. I don't want to send it, but if I could, I would want that shit nice.
Just do your own design, Tony. It's time to see if you're an artist or not.
I don't think I want to fuck up a $500 system.
It can't be that hard to draw, to do like the Texans logo on that thing. You'll be all set.
Texans?
Yeah, the Texans, man. Isn't that your team?
I know you see the motherfucking hat. We ain't got to talk about it. Well, and you know what? That brings us into my next topic. But first, for all the viewers and listeners out there, hit that like and subscribe button on our channel on Facebook. And just go ahead and click over onto our YouTube page and hit the follow button. We'll greatly appreciate it, man. We need those likes and follows. We got a high number on Facebook, but we need a high number on YouTube as well. And don't forget to follow our TikTok and Twitter page and our IG page. Great content there being spread out. If you like little short reels, if you like the whole full thing on YouTube, we got all and everything you need for your viewing pleasure. But on to my next segment here. Intent. Is intent, do you believe in intent? Do you think it's something that is good, or is there an ideal of intent that you think you believe in that's real or not? I'll start off with Pooch. Lead us into this beautiful intent.
Right. So I think we're mainly talking how much does intent matter in like a person's decision, or well, really, it's like whether it matters, and if it does, how much does it, or do you value outcome more than intent? I don't know. I think for some things, intent is obviously important, but I feel like a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people, believe it or not, say like intent is everything. And I find that to be very strange. So like, no matter what bad thing happened, as long as they had good intention, or as long as they had good intentions, or even worse, as long as they had neutral intentions, like they didn't mean bad, it's like it's all good kind of thing. I don't know. I always find that mindset to be kind of strange for me. I don't know.
No, that's that's fair. I know that we on this podcast have had arguments about this thing of someone pointing out a thing to someone else that pisses them off and hurts feelings and causes a big argument, and the excuse sometimes is, well, that's not what I meant. That's not what I intend. That's not what I intended with my words.
Yeah,
Right.
I think intent is hard to deceive. Like when you're texting, it's hard to like get the right message sometimes. So intent kind of gets muddy when you're texting. Nobody really knows how people are saying things, and you know what I mean? I think for the most part, none of us have like real bad intent towards each other. Maybe we might have we might have things that we are bad at, but I don't think our intentions are to piss other people off and stuff like that. But yeah, I think intent matters. I think intent isn't everything, because let's say somebody buys me a gift with their intentions being when it's their turn to birthday, whatever, I'll buy them a gift, right? Like, what if I don't buy them the gift? Then, did their intent matter when they bought me the gift? To me, not really. They just, the intent can matter sometimes, and intent can mean nothing. It depends on the person, you know what I mean, and how you're taking it.
I think intent matters all the time in almost all scenarios. Like, if I try to do you a solid, I'm doing you a solid out of the love. Like I'm not looking for anything in return. That's my intent. But that's the problem with intent, because some people can perceive it like if I buy you a gift, Poot or Doughboy, I'm not expecting you to buy me a gift for my birthday. I'm giving you a gift because it's your birthday and it's a celebration, right? That's my intent, and that's how I look at it. If you say, yo, like I feel like, hey, Pooch, I feel like Tony bought me this because he wants me to get him a gift. And it's just like, I can't stop you from thinking that way. You know what I'm saying? So it is important for what's the person's intent, because it's like my intent is to give you a gift for your birthday. Congratulations. That's it. I don't want nothing. If intent wasn't a thing, like if you didn't like it's whatever, then we'll just have blanket ass statements like or like just like, oh, I'm gonna just do this. Like what, but why are you doing it? Or I ask you a question because I'm the person in this group that just asks fucking questions. Maybe sometimes a question shouldn't be asked, but I'll ask it, and my intent is because I want to know. But if I had no intent, I'm just asking just to ask to be a plain dick. That's how I would view it as. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why I think like intent is important.
So when, like, let's say somebody has an obvious
They're bald.
ailment,
Yeah, they're bald.
like your intention asking them what their ailment is, you don't think it's bad? But what if they take it as bad?
No. See, now this is the thing. My intent is to find out information, but asking a question could lead to a reaction that could be bad or good. I understand that.
Because it's rude?
Depending on the person who's viewing it, yeah, it could be rude. Yeah, 100%. I'm not going to go up and well, I might. See, and that's just the curiosity in me. And that's the bad thing. And that's my negative thing in life. Like I have a couple negative things that I do. If I'm like fucking tired or aggravated with just shit that's going on, and someone asks me a question that I know is going to aggravate me, I try my best and sometimes do it wrong to avoid that question. Instead of just saying no, because I just don't want to tell you no or not right now, I'll just be like, I'll put like the stupid ass defense wall, and I do it quite often. And that's just me saying like, no, I don't want to talk about it right now. Let's talk about it later when I have the energy for your conversation. And that's the wrong in me, because I see that it's wrong and I need to be better at it. But even though your intent is to ask me and find out information, so that's why I'm saying there's intent for, like, I believe in intent. There's people out there that don't believe in intent, and that to me is kind of weird. That's
well, it always gets weird whenever you're trying to figure out someone else's intentions. Which is why I think that I tend to just not. I try to not worry about like what someone's intentions are. I like to think that their actions or words matter more than whatever games they're trying to play in their head or not play, or trying to figure out people is impossible. Like the only way to figure out someone is to ask questions, is to ask them like, hey, just to clear up, what do you want? What do you mean by this when you said such and such? Like, people are complicated. If you just try to assume what people are going for or what they meant by things, then you're going to get it wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reasonable way that you could ever really know the intentions of anyone. Even the people you trust, even they could lie to you right to your face. Like, you could never really know. Like, but I don't know. I think obviously intent matters, right? Like, like if someone got you a gift for your birthday, right? And say that gift they got you reminds you of like a loved one that passed away or something. You might have a negative feelings about receiving that gift, but it's like, it'd be fucked up to take that out on that person if they didn't know, right? Like, like if their intent, like, if they didn't know about it, then you could only assume that their intention is, I just wanted to get this person a nice gift, right? So it's like, of course, right? In that case, intention is everything, and you don't care about the outcome, like in how you judge that person, But there's other things like if someone shot like your kid or something like that, right? I don't give a shit of any reasoning that you're going to come up with. None of your intentions matter. I don't care if you're saying like you thought there was somebody breaking in and so you pulled out your gun to shoot them. And like, I don't care, dude. Like for me, that the outcome in that situation is what matters to me. Right. And of course, there's a ton of nuance and there's a ton of gray in between these two situations, right?
Yeah.
Where intention matters a little bit more or outcome matters a little bit more. I find it a little bit weird of like like Mateo hit the nail on the head with like my feelings about this conversation, where people do what I perceive to be fucked up things, and they hide behind their fucked up action by saying they didn't intend to do the fucked up thing, or they didn't intend to hurt no one's feelings, or they didn't intend this. And like to them, that's an adequate like apology, or like an adequate cop out. Like it's an adequate excuse. I used some slur, but it wasn't in a way to like hurt anyone's feelings. You know, it just said this word that everybody knows is not a good word, but I said it, but I didn't say it to hurt nobody's feelings. Like, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, you know, but
are you saying like when I said the R word like 90 million times the last episode?
Well, sure, but that's not what I was thinking about. But yeah, something like that.
An example.
I think an interesting takeaway I have here is I hadn't realized that Tony and you are both probably the most curious people that I've ever met in my life. You just have different approaches to it. Mm-hmm. Like Tony is just like up front. He will ask the awkward question because he just wants to know. He has to know what the story is with such and such. And Pucho, you will analyze every single interaction just because you want to get to that truth of what caused things to go this way.
He wants the person to reveal it on their own. I'm not giving them that option. I'm like ripping it from you.
I think
sometimes I'd be straight up and be like, hey, why'd you do that thing? Mm-hmm. And they'll have an answer that I don't think is adequate, but mainly because I don't think it gets to the root of well, not that I don't think, I know it's not getting to the root of something. Like it's kind of like a wishy-washy answer. I know that answer contradicts other things that they do, so I'm like, you really don't believe that. Like there's something else you have this different belief that maybe you haven't vocalized, that, you know, all these things in combination, you're not contradicting yourself. You just believe something different than what you're really saying. Not because you mean to lie. Maybe you just haven't really thought about it. Like you just have a general feeling of you know, how to interact, or you know,
maybe that's why we bump heads on certain shit. Heavy pooch, because our way that we go about asking and looking for answers. Like you have a more subtle approach, I guess, and I just don't have a subtle approach to it. And that's a nicer way of putting it, right?
Well, no, not nicer. I don't think it's a matter of subtlety, because I just ask straight up.
To certain people,
think that I'm asking the questions tactfully. I'm not like, I wouldn't, like there's certain questions I wouldn't ask. Like no, I wouldn't. Like if I saw a bald person, I wouldn't ask them why they're bald. Like if they don't have hair on their eyebrows, I'm gonna assume cancer, and I could be wrong, but it's never important for me to know that whether a stranger has cancer or not. Like, so it's just I wouldn't ask that question, right? Like that's a level of curiosity that I don't care about. Like if I see a one-legged person, I'm not gonna ask how you lost your leg. Like that's just, it might be a sore topic, or it's just I'm not. I might be interested. I might be curious to know, because I guess it's human nature. It's my nature. I don't know. But I know that I wouldn't ask the question unless I get very familiar with this person and I know that this question isn't going to be perceived to be like offensive or make them uncomfortable or anything like that.
In my defense, my body, my mind, my soul has a natural aura to where people just convey informations to me. People just come to me in a happy form. Oh, and Doughboy's seen this firsthand. People just are drawn to me and just want to talk to me. So when I ask certain questions that normal people without my aura would be like, you're going to get a different response. Usually what happens. I don't know. Maybe that's
dope. If you ask me, a lot of people gravitate towards Tony. Tony has a very proby kind of way that he always asks, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? What's this? He just kind of like asks questions. Pucho kind of like investigates. He has like a different way of doing
And
things.
I hate that shit sometimes because it's almost the same as beating around the bush. And correct me if I'm wrong, Pooch. Like you're doing investigation and it's like you're just beating around the bush.
Thing, but
no,
you're
I just go
like,
through the bush. I'm like the Hawaiian Punch Man. I just break it through people's fences and shit. It's just like, you know what I mean? And just ask the question. Like I'm fuck this 90-page essay. Let's go. What is the answer? Like you know what I mean? And
Doey also attracts some nonsense in his life, though. I don't know if that's just living in New York is just like that city is full of nonsense. But
oh my God.
There's also some nonsense that you attract in your life, Doey.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just my face. I have like a stupid face. Everybody just looks at me and they're like, this is the guy.
I don't think you have a stupid face. I think you have a face like people be like, we can push this guy's button and he's not going to assault us probably face. Like you're just a nice guy face. You know what I mean? Like if you look at Pucho and you push his buttons, this nigga's likely to give you an uppercut. Real swift and clean. You know what I mean? It's just people have that aggressive look. Pucho has an aggressive look. Doughboy, you have I can get punched in the face and I probably won't do nothing face. Like that. People have faces, bro. Just saying. Let me punch you in the face one time.
He's talking about how some people have resting bitch faces and other people don't. I've been told that I have a resting bitch face, a resting angry face. My dad has an angry face too. Like when we were kids, like we'd hang out in the neighborhood. My kids will come over to the house. They'll see my dad and they'll be like, "Why is your dad angry?" And I'd look at my dad and I'd be like, he's actually quite happy right now. like my dad's resting face is just pissed off. Like I could look pissed off. Me and my brothers, we all have a very pissed off face. I don't know. Maybe it's a defense mechanism. I don't know.
Like, don't miss me with that bullshit. Don't come to me. Like, I don't want to talk to you. That's the face you guys got.
Tony's way though is like he'll walk into like a bar. Like this is how I dress to the bar, right? I got a black t-shirt on, I got my glasses, I got a watch, nothing, very low key. Like no one's gonna pick anything out of what I'm wearing, right? Tony will go to the bar with this Cowboys hat, with like a Celtics jersey, with fucking some bumper stickers on his car. So like now people can look at the things that he has and like there's now questions, there's like interactions that are formalizing to them. So like, like the Cowboys just lost on Friday, right? Someone might go up to Tony and be like, "Oh, you guys had a tough game on Friday," right? I don't get those types of interactions, but those things happen to Tony. Tony wears these things that attract attention, I think.
No, Tony also walks into a bar basically rubbing his hands and looking around for where he can cause the most chaos. Like he's scoping out like where what seat is he gonna sit at? Who looks like they're gonna have the best conversation for him?
I just want to see the world burn. People. That's all. I just want to see the world burn. Like no, I don't fucking go to bars to look for arguments. I go to bars to have fun. All right.
Tony loves interacting with NPCs. Is what's going on in his life.
Yes.
He wants every side quest available.
That's the opposite. I hate seeing 100 side quests I hate that shit. But nah, like, bro, it's fun interacting with people. Like, and I think that's a gift and a curse. Like, because there'll be some weirdos. And my intent is to be there and have a good time and have a casual conversation with a complete stranger to see their view and aspect of life and what they've been through. Sometimes I bite off a little bit more than I can chew. And, and vice versa for the person I'm talking to. But most of the time, I'm there to mind my fucking business and randos hit me up. That's usually what happens. Everybody in this party, besides Mateo, have seen that firsthand. So, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be the way, like we're at the bar and the plays are happening we're watching football at the bar and the way Tony's like jumping up and getting excited and he's like, oh, like other people around could see that he's invested in the game. And that it's another topic. It's like another conversation, like starting point. And it's like me, I got the resting face. I'll be at the bar completely in happiness with the stone cold killer face, just staring at the TV, no reaction. And I'll be like, man, this is really good. Like afterward, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it's how emotive people could be and things like that is how Tony be attracting attention. But this is a whole This is a whole segue.
This is a tangent.
Well, this has been a major tangent.
What's the intent of his actions at the bar?
My intent is to have a good time.
Yo, no, but Tony, like you said, Tony does this thing where he just will start looking around and he'll see like somebody's going for the other team and then intentionally say something loud enough for that person to hear. I've seen Tony do it. Those soft ass Dolphins.
If my team is playing against a rival team, right? And I see the rival fans. As soon as my team scores, I'm gonna be an extra, just 1 decibel. Be like, bah! Bum ass niggles. And then they're gonna sit there and be like, oh, he's a Cowboys fan, I see. And then, when they score, they look at me and they'll say something. Then I'll be like, yeah, I'll look at them. And it goes from there. And then it becomes friendly conversation. We'll buy each other beers. Side note, real quick. Me and my uncle spent like $500 at a bar one time, separately, because of that. He's a Patriots fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. We went to a bar in Boynton Beach, and we met other Patriot fans, retired cops, firefighters, whatever, governor shit. There was a whole bar of 8 people, and everybody's buying each other rounds of drinks. First time I ever did an Irish car bomb. Some Guinness type drink. That was disgusting. Most disgusting drink ever. And I had a great time. When I saw that bill, I immediately wanted to throw up. That was the highest bill I've ever, just me alone. $500.
That's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of money at the bar.
I was just like, yeah, I blew a check right now. A little check right now. I just blew it on beers and shots. But memories. Always keep memories.
500, that's some next level shit. Remember that one time that Brian dragged us to the bar?
Oh, y'all called me, harassed me? Yeah, I remember that night.
I spent like $180 that day at the bar. And that was the most I've ever spent at the bar.
Oh my God.
There were 13 of us, and we were all taking turns doing like buying a round to the table of Patron. So it's like an expensive, it ain't that expensive, but it's like it's a name brand shit. So at bars they charge you like a little extra. That shit was pricey. Yeah, I bought 2 rounds, and so 26 shots came out to $100 and some change. Right? And I was like, man, we should have just bought a fucking bottle and just chill. But it's not as fun, we're at the bar.
No, you're right.
But anyhow, talking about intent, the most fun I've ever had watching any sporting event.
Oh,
I met Tony and Everett up at the bar.
Duffy's.
And we went, we were at a Duffy's, a sports bar. And, we buying some drinks, chilling. And then it was like a UFC night. Ronda Rousey was fighting Holly Holmes, I think her name was. And, we read the room really quick. And we peeped that we don't really watch UFC, so we don't really care. But the entire room were Ronda Rousey fans.
Everyone.
The whole room. We read the room and we're like, oh shit. We're like, let's make this shit interesting. So then we started like being Holly Holmes fans, even though we're not Holly Holmes. We're just haters. We just wanted to hate.
Is this when she beat her too?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when Holly Holmes knocked out Ronda Rousey. But it was hilarious. Once the fight started, it was like any little, like if Holly Holmes just tapped Ronda Rousey, all 3 of us were like, like we were going so extra. Yeah, everybody was slowly like hating us. Like
you felt the
and
tension.
then every time she landed a punch, we were acting crazy. And then when she got knocked out, forget about it. It was pin drop silent in this bar. Everybody's mouth was dropped, shocked. They couldn't believe Ronda Rousey could lose a fight, except for the fact that the 3 of us were screaming like we just won the World fucking Series or something. like it was we were hugging, like we're spilling our drinks everywhere. It was so ridiculous. And that was, and then I swear to God, I was like, we're about to fight like 100 motherfuckers right now. We're gonna get crazy jump, like, because like the vibes were that bad. Like, everybody was looking at us like these pieces of shit. Like, and that was fun. And our intentions there were purely malicious. It was. Well, I wouldn't say purely, because part of it was I want to have fun, but we viewed it as a zero-sum game. My fun came from making everybody else upset.
Yep.
Which was it was the best fun I've ever had.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bad. Makes you wonder, right? Could we ever indulge in just like pure fun without hurting anybody? I don't know.
That's a segue right there. That's a segue opportunity right there.
Did you get your chair, Pucho?
I purchased it. It's coming August 26th, allegedly.
Okay, so in a few weeks.
So it's like another 10 days before I get noticed that it's not coming for another 2 weeks or something.
Oh
so.
my God.
Your offices look real good black, though.
Yes.
I know. People hating. People hate. I'm going to paint my room black.
Some people ask questions about that with weird intentions. Like, why do you want to paint your room black?
Yeah, that's a weird question.
Why can't I ask that?
I never say you couldn't. It's just weird. Especially like,
is there a reason why you want to paint it black? Is there something that you're going for? Do you want not a lot of light to be picked up, or is there something aesthetically you're going for?
Ultimately, I just think the room would look cool black.
Okay, cool.
I don't know, but isn't that the whole like drive to painting it? It's just weird because you're like, I don't know, it's not what I would do. I would pick light colors.
A dark gray instead of a black.
Right.
Like Lisi was talking about it. Why? Because personally, I think black in a room, like it sucks all the light from the room. Like it's going to be very hard to get light to bounce off of the wall. It's just it's not conductive to how a room should work.
I like to be in the dark, right?
Yeah, no, me too. Half of the time I'm
going to get a lot of colorful lights in the room. So it's going to look like I'm the fucking, I don't know, the captain of the USS Enterprise, except that the room's going to be blacked out. There's going to be a lot of colorful buttons, have my own data.
What if you get some of that paint that's like the darkest paint in the world, so it just absorbs light and doesn't actually reflect any? So you just have those light panels on there and there's no glow around them. It's just the lights themselves. Shit would look cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I heard that you can't be in a room with that paint in the wall. You would get dizzy and disoriented after a while.
I think that the text leads us to try to dig into people's intentions a lot more than just normal everyday conversation.
Yes.
I don't know what it is specifically about that, but I feel like text conversation, because so much of the nuance is lost, you spend a lot more time trying to figure out what someone meant by a message, like what they really meant by a message, No,
100%. I think when you're talking to someone, there's a body language, there's the inflection of someone's voice where, like, when someone's voice gets like a little high when they're asking something, maybe the intentions don't feel malicious there. Like it feels kind of curious or lighthearted or something. There's a lot there's so much sensory input that you're getting when you're having a conversation with somebody that it makes it easier to, at least for you, to settle on what you think their intentions are. When someone just asks you just a straight up question and that's it, and you just read words in text, you're like, like, what do you think they meant by that? Like, why would they ask that question at that moment? Like, I don't know.
So many of our One Up podcast group chat arguments really kick off to the next level the second that someone says, yo, why are you coming at me so aggressive? That's the start of like, it's like, oh, this is when I get 20 messages in a row now of everyone arguing about how they're not actually arguing.
100%.
But to be fair, no question makes someone more mad than asking them why they're mad.
Why are you upset?
It's not I don't mind if someone's like, yo, why are you upset? And I'm like, nah, I'm not upset. It's the insisting that you're upset that gets pissing me off. It's like, dude, I'm telling you that I'm not mad. It kind of feels like you're trying to get me mad.
Bait you.
It sounds like you're trying to aggravate me right now. That's what it feels like. But that does piss me off. But I be trying to control myself. I'm trying to think. I don't remember what the exact situation was at whatever point. But I just was one day was like, you know what? I need to change like how I talk. And I feel like I do pretty good. I could think of maybe 1 or 2 instances in like the last like 5 or 6 years that I've like, like insulted somebody like with those types of intentions. Like almost all of the arguments that I have with somebody, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm abusive or something. I don't know. Maybe someone would say that, but almost all the arguments that I have with somebody, I'm just asking questions. I'm just like trying to, figure out like where you came from when you did something that bothered me or vice versa, right? And we're just trying to get to the bottom of it. And I feel like it's other people that get pissed off in the midst of those questions that then the conversation goes left and people start yelling or calling each other names and blah blah. I feel like for the most part, I've made crazy efforts to like not scream, not curse, like just kind of play it chill in these conversations. Like I said, I've slipped up. But I feel like that is where conversations go wrong, is that a lot of people are so willing to just take it low, like just make it a bad conversation. It's like start yelling, start cursing, like all these things are like ultra negative, and it could set other people off. And I feel like the eagerness to get to stoop to that level makes a lot of otherwise, would be fruitful conversations into just like pointless like screaming matches or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I
don't even know how we got there, to be honest.
No intent.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we didn't even scratch the surface of intent, because like I have so many questions. Because like they'll be like, well, I'm just saying, like, people will say something offensive, right? And then they'll just be like, no, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to be offensive when I said that offensive thing. I have a hard time like accepting that. It almost and it's also like not an apology. People fucking hate apologizing.
Is it okay? Is it okay for somebody to be who they are, even if they are racist? Is that at the end of the day, if you're not gonna change who you are, like, is it okay for them to be who they are?
What do you mean by okay?
They're never gonna change the way they think. They're sticking to their guns, no matter how bad they look. Because I've met people like that in Florida, that they just don't like a certain group of people, and that you're just not gonna convince them. Like,
I don't hang around those people. Right. If I were to find out that someone is racist, I don't fuck with those people. I personally don't think it's okay. Okay is it's a moral question though, right? And their answer is gonna be like, yeah, it is okay that I'm.
What if they're racist? What if they're not overtly racist to people? They're just they have their feelings, but they're never overtly racist.
Prejudice.
There are two lines of thought about that. Like I have buddies that it's the same. I think we had a similar conversation last week. Some people think that the best way to combat racism is to befriend people that are racist and help shape their worldview. I think that's a very noble cause. That's not me. I'm not.
There's that one black guy that goes around befriending KKK people and trying to talk them out, and he has successfully talked people out of it.
And big props to him. That's impressive. He's doing some fantastic.
That's like a full-time job that I'm not willing to do.
He records it. Right. Yeah, he records it. He makes money off of it.
But it is part of the whole like racism thing of like racist people who tend to be white want the minority to be the one to help fix the problem, when the problem could be solved by just not being fucking racist.
Can I talk about something real quick that I've seen recently? This is like recent shit.
No, what do you think this is? A podcast? You can just talk about shit that you want to? Get out of here.
That's recent? That's topical?
Yes, current? Topical. Yes, the census. You guys haven't seen all these fucking Hispanics have grown 20% of the population. What does this mean for white people? What is awesome. What's up with those fucking headliners? What does this mean for white people? And I'm like, what do you mean? What does it mean for white people? Like, yo, all of these topics I feel like are dog whistling. Yes. Kind of saying like, oh, we're being taken over. is what it feels like.
I think that's what it is.
It's a strange sentiment too, because it's like, is the intention like behind what they're like? Is their real belief in there is that America is a white country, like
Yes,
by definition? And
think,
now that they are going, like white people are, I don't know, in the next 20 years or so, they're going to go from a majority to a plurality. So they'll still be the biggest population individually. They'll be outnumbered by everyone else. You know what I mean? They will no longer, like right now they're like at 60% or 59% of the race of people in the country.
That's definitely going to change just because of the mixing. And that might seem bad to say, but mixing of races is like I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican. Luca's Mexican, Puerto Rican, and Irish. Like this, like it's all this. I don't know what. I know you're Dominican, Pucho, but you're not mixed with anything else, right? You're pure Dominican, right?
I mean, you're talking nationalities and not races.
Well,
yes,
yeah.
My parents both are from the Dominican Republic, but like my dad is black and my mom is like a little lighter than me. Right?
Well, I'm not talking skin color. Yeah, I'm not talking skin color.
That's what the census. Okay, go ahead.
No, the census is white versus everything else, right? From what the
Well,
boy
we're
said?
talking races. You're talking like nationalities or like heritage or something.
Because it's going to eventually mix. The more you mix with white people, like if you have a white black baby, white Spanish baby, essentially the white pure race is only going to be with real racism people. You know what I mean?
I hate the term white pure race.
Pure, the word pure there is so fun.
I mean, like pure as in like don't people think that we're not mixing with any other race, like the racist people. That's what I meant.
That's
like they're
not
keeping
just
it pure
for white people though. A lot of people just their foundation is based off of that. Nobody knocks the Jews for doing that.
Jewish people do that.
Bro, Jewish people do not marry outside of their faith or religion. And if they do, it's frowned upon.
I didn't know that.
They'll allow it, but it's frowned upon. For
I mean,
Jewish
I think
people.
that's the case for pretty much everybody, though.
Indian people do the whole marriage, meeting each other and not. The marriage is more like
arranged marriage.
Are you talking
like families?
I don't know how common that is in the States.
I think in general you're talking about traditionalist, which.
Right,
like it's we're progressing away from traditionalism. Like,
isn't that form of racism?
Yeah, racism is complicated because like my definition of racism that I personally subscribe to is that it is like I am one of those people. I don't think you can be racist against white people. I think you can be prejudiced against white people. I think you can be bigoted against white people, but I don't think you can be straight up racist against white people because I don't think that we have that power because they are the majority. They hold the power in the country. This is this is going to be a sound clip that's going to one day is going to piss off some people.
I agree.
Whatever.
No, I agree. I also think that's what critical race theory is pointing towards, and a lot of people are like up in arms about that. No, a lot of white people do not want critical race theory taught at schools.
I think
basically.
Are you saying sorry, though, Mateo? Are you saying that because the white people are in the more leading department of this country that you can't be racist against white people? Like I think the governors, the state senates, all that is mostly predominant white.
I think when you're talking racism, you're talking systemic racism, and I think that you can't be racist against the people that are in power over there. Like, I don't think it's possible. I think if the power dynamics shift, I think that we might have to reevaluate what we're actually calling systemic racism. You can be bigoted against against white people. You can be prejudiced against white people.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely a thing. Brown people are prejudiced against other brown people. Like, I don't think that I wouldn't call it racism. I would call it being prejudiced. I would call it bigotry, like xenophobia for the Mexican, for the Hispanic people that are prejudiced against the Guatemalan people coming down here. And they're like, they're coming and invading our country. But yeah, I don't think you can be racist against white people. Yeah, that is definitely my take.
I think I don't know. I have trouble like accepting that because it's like it deviates so hard from how everyone uses language. So it's like when you say that, you're you're losing half the room, if not more, just off rip. Like just because like at first it sounds like, because basically you're saying racism means prejudice plus power, pretty much, right?
Yes.
Like, right, like you're going with that definition. But so then by that definition though, you're saying that even a white person, like just an individual, can't be racist against anyone else either, right?
Well, the system favors the skin color. There's built in, that's why systemic racism is the conversation, because there's generational wealth. There's long established systems in the country that were more favorable to non-minorities. There was property ownership issues that gave minorities a disadvantage economically and things of that nature. We are deviating hard from our
Yeah.
Nah, I think we got a new fourth topic. So
No, but seriously though, black people in power, they can't gerrymander. They can't create lines in the city where you technically can't cross. Like that shit was a real thing. Like there's certain places where there's railroad, there's another type of neighborhood on the other side. Black people were not allowed to go across into that other neighborhood, and that's where the whole stopping people and frisking and all that bullshit, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I agree with Mateo. I felt like that for a long time.
I think in general, I might use my language wrong though, because like racism should refer to the systems and the power, not people in general. Like it should be, this person is prejudiced, this person is bigoted. Like that you can call them a racist if they straight up think that like the white race is the one pure race. I haven't met a lot of people like that in my actual life. I know they exist. I've seen their crazy ass posts on Twitter. But I probably use my language wrong. I should probably use like prejudiced and bigoted rather than calling people racist.
Yeah, I feel like,
because I do mean the system when I'm typically referring to racism, because that's what matters. Individuals don't matter that much.
Right. I feel like though, I guess to be effective in how you're trying to convince people or educate people, I think you got to be careful with your words. Like I am of the mind, right, that I guess because I don't disagree too much with what you're saying. I guess I disagree with the way that it's being said. Because like I'm telling you, like you walk into a room and you say that, you're losing basically all the white people. All the white people go, oh man, so everybody could discriminate against me and it doesn't matter. They're not racist. Like that'd be the takeaway. And then it's like off rip, you got 60% of the population off board. And then anybody else like me, I'm like, well, I don't like how you said that. Like Tony's already in the other camp. Like, so it's like, it feels like you need to be careful with how you say things. Like, so like as an example, right? The simple way, especially the way that people use the language, even though it might not be correct, I would just be like, yo, if you just blanket don't like black people, I would call you a racist. If you just blanket don't like white people, I would call you a racist. I think you guys are racist, right? Now, when you're talking who has more power in a situation, right? Whose racism could have a bigger impact? That's where you're getting into like the systemic issues with racism. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you need to broach that topic carefully, like, or else you're gonna lose the room pretty much. Because like as an example, like when a woman calls a cop, when a woman, if there's a dispute between a man and a woman, right, calling with the police, right, statistically the cops will tend to favor like what the woman is saying, right, which is, even though in this country women don't have, power in most circumstances, they do have power in certain situations, right? Like they're favored in, like, if a woman commits the same crime as a man, they're not facing the same charges as a man is. Like statistically, that's just straight up how it plays out, right? Now Ruth Bader Ginsburg will tell you that every power that a woman holds over a man is because there's some other injustice against a woman, like lying underneath that power that they have. So like there's like a belief that women are weak or that women are frail. So like maybe that's why the justice system would, go lighter on them. So like they're reaping a benefit off of a prejudice against them or something like that, which I find that to be a pretty interesting take. Like, Like they got there was I don't remember what state it was. There were drinking laws where the drinking age for women was 18 and the drinking age for men were 21. And yeah, they got it changed so that women fought to have the drinking age to. I don't remember if it was to get it to 21 or to bring the men down to 18, but it was like it was some fucking reverse way that they went about fighting the case. They didn't go there with those intentions. It was like for some other reason, and like Ruth Bader Ginsburg like snuck in this whole thing where she's like, you guys are being prejudiced against women, even though the women are benefiting off that prejudice. Like there's an underlying thing that's affecting other parts of society that we're being fucked in. And in this circumstance, it's a benefit, right? Anyhow, that's a whole other tangent. I'm just saying.
I seriously want to go ahead. You want to finish? Because I want to ask. I mean,
I think you get the gist. I feel like when you go and say racism is only prejudice plus power, and then also say basically like Black and Hispanic people can't be racist against white people. I think that type of language is going to be very ineffective against getting white people on your side to fight for, the race problems in the country. That's my take.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I need to evaluate my take on that because systemic racism is obviously the issue. Like Joe Schmo, like individual. I couldn't give less of a fuck whether I make an individual not be prejudiced against a certain race or not, because in the grand scheme of things, that one person doesn't matter. The same way that I don't really matter. My opinions on things, they don't affect policy. They don't affect actual change. It doesn't matter.
Tony, do you know what critical race theory is and how they want to teach it in schools and like the big pushback?
Not enough. No. If you want to explain
does
it,
anybody know a good way to explain this? I'm about to go look at the definition.
You don't know it yourself?
I do, but not well enough to.
So explain it your way then.
I haven't read any of the books. There's a list that I've got on my reading list of books to read on critical race theory, but I have not read any of them. I'm not even properly equipped to have that critical race theory conversation.
Some are ridiculous. Like I understand why a lot of conservatives are up in arms about some of this stuff.
Really?
Like there was I forget what state it was, but they were basically like talking about how the math curriculum is racist. Like they're just saying like math is racist. Like, and it was the most ridiculous shit. I'll go look it up. I swear to God, I'll read this to you guys and your guys' head will fucking spin. Like how ridiculous this shit was. I don't know. The gist of it is we basically as a society are growing more and more we're having a bigger desire to start fixing a lot of these systemic injustices, right? And it seems like what critical race theory is about is educating people about these racial injustices and how they affect people. And the thing that people are up in arms about is that they want to teach this in like K through 12, like basically in public school. The same way you have like a sex ed class and, the same way you have like your cooking classes and things like that. They're going to be within there teaching us about our children really about how systemic issues affect some races more than others, right?
See the main complaint that I've heard about it is just the hot take conservative nonsense of they're telling us that it's bad to be white. Yeah, that seems like a false argument. Like I would be very surprised if I read critical race theory books and the books actually had anything in there indicating that it's bad to be white.
Where did this come from? Like, who's the lead behind this push towards the school, teaching the kids this in school? Like, who's behind this?
It's like academic.
Yeah, there's a lot of professors and academics, and
because I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see teaching the youth so maybe they can change the future for better. Because I think that's what maybe the real like I said, I don't know enough about it, but I'm thinking that's what the thing is behind it. It's teaching the youth that there is these old system justices that are in place to harm or not harm, but to keep a certain group where they're at. And I think by teaching people this and opening their eyes, maybe one of these youth, these generational kids, can change it for the better for the future for their kids, and be like, no, we need to change the wrongs of our history so our future can be brighter. You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of these systems that were created were back in those, bad slavery racist times where everybody in power, were mostly white people. Like, so yeah, I do think some of that stuff need to be changed.
They claim that the modern form of policing came from old school slave catchers back in mid 1800s. There's a lot that's still rooted in things like this, and I agree completely. You have to teach. If you don't actually look back at your past critically, this goes for individuals, this goes for a country as a whole. You can't grow. You can't learn how to be better from that. It's weird that that there's so much pushback to reevaluating our history. Like, man, there are some people that are real upset that Christopher Columbus is now known as like a rapist and a person that performed genocide, and they're real upset that this man is no longer a hero for the American people. But who do we want as a hero? Someone that's a rapist and committed genocide, or an actual, like, the man discovered a country that was already fully inhabited? Like, why do we want to celebrate this man?
And then created a day that would lead to their entrapment.
It's like all the Texans that don't want to. It's like all the Texans that don't want to learn the truth about like the whole Alamo situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're pissed off that the Alamo. Basically, the way they tell it is like a bunch of brave Americans
courageous
fought like the Mexican government for freedom, and they left like a crew of people at the Alamo, and they fought and died to the last man, and like this brave like final stand. And it's like there's just a lot of inaccuracies. Like, for one, not everyone died, so they didn't fight and to die to the last man. I think there's like stuff about how like those guys might have started like the fight with the Mexican government. So it wasn't even like the Mexico was coming in as like some kind of oppressor or aggressor. Then it was about slavery too. So it's like about these guys, they wanted to defend slavery. So it's just like there's a lot of layers to how fucked up the situation is. But it's like indoctrinated in like I wouldn't even go so far as to say like Texan, but it's really like a San Antonian legacy. Like they fucking take the Alamo to the heart. Like,
no, it's all of Texas. In elementary school in Texas, where you do Texas history and U.S. history. Like, Texas history is its own thing that we studied for all of elementary school, and fuck? It's fucked up. And it's fucked up because they never mention the slavery aspect. They say that they fought the Mexican government for freedom of religion. That they just wanted. They did not want to have to be Catholic, and they wanted freedom from the oppressive Mexican government. The oppressive Mexican government had outlawed slavery, and that's why they're upset. Women could vote under the Mexican government. Women could own property. Like, they were surprisingly erring on the side of progressive for the era, at least.
And how is this even being taught? Like, this goes back to the system. Like, just certain people are in power, and they just let certain shit slide.
It's a systemic thing.
Yeah,
it's really like how sorry, go ahead though, because you wanted to talk, and then Mateo started talking, and then Tony, you never even got to talk after the point I was trying to make. But I do want to make one specific point. A lot of people think systemic racism, because using that word racism, the implication is that like people are hateful and all of that stuff, and it's not true at all. Like, there are hateful people. I'm not speaking to that. I'm saying specifically when you're talking about how systems are racist, what it means to say is that the way that the system is designed, no one in the machine, they're all cogs in the machine, no one in the machine has to be racist for this thing to produce racist outcomes. It was designed in such a way That's the way that things are, the outcomes that are happening now. Like, there are no evil intentions in systemic racism. To bring it back to our previous topics, right? No one in the whole process and the system needs to have any bad intent for, like, Black and Hispanic people to have longer sentences, and things of that nature. It's just a whole. Everything is feeding back into itself. All these problems are multifaceted. Like, if you don't got good education, you're not going to make good choices. If you don't make good choices, you're going to do bad shit and then go to jail. You get out of jail, you're going to come out, you're not going to have a job. Like, all this stuff. And then maybe you had some kids. Now you're not going to be around to raise the kid. So now the kid doesn't have money. Now the kid grows up, he doesn't have good education. And then it's all a self-feeding loop,
Mm-hmm.
But my bad, though. You were trying to talk about, like, the critical race theory stuff.
No. Just that recently, because on the other hand, if they don't, if you're against them teaching this at school, like, how do you feel about just us making our own history up, like, kind of softening? Like, recently in Texas, they are basically making the KKK seem not as bad as they were, like, with the wording that they use. They're basically like softening what the KKK was. So in that push, like, on the other end, which is what America has been doing in textbooks like forever, softening slavery. Oh, it wasn't. Oh, the slaves were very happy to make these things. Like, it's like, huh? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the wording that they use in these textbooks, and so, like,
I think I saw a textbook where they referred to slaves as unpaid laborers.
Yes. They start doing stuff like that to, like, soften what happened.
Well,
what's the question, though?
If you, like I said, if you think, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying, like, if people are opposed to, like, critical race theory and stuff like that, like, shouldn't they also be opposed to how the textbooks are being changed to, like, reference these really horrible, terrible things as not so terrible? Like, it's gonna change in its own way. Why not insert something that will not allow it to divert its course?
I would just say put the facts out. Like, put what literally happened. Put like why are we still celebrating Thanksgiving if it was so bad that we don't celebrate Columbus at all? Like, if right, because it is bad what he did, right?
Well, Thanksgiving is the Pilgrims.
No, I know, but I'm going into this whole thing. That the Pilgrim thing was a trap. Thanksgiving was a trap, right?
Well, Thanksgiving wasn't a trap.
What was it then?
Here's a fun thing about the Pilgrims, though. The Pilgrims are they're depicted as they came here for religious freedom, which is kind of true. But they were pretty close to what we would have called religious terrorists. Like, they were exiled from England because they had like plotted to kill some clergymen and things. Like, they had some fucked up things. That's why they got kicked out of the country, and then they came here and they formed.
What is Thanksgiving? That wasn't a trap.
Thanksgiving, from what I understand, like, it was not a trap. They didn't kill them after They didn't kill Native American people after Thanksgiving. It was the settlers were starving. Like, I think that's what it came down to, wasn't it? The settlers were starving, and the Native American people helped them out. They taught them how to actually grow crops in this new land. I think they taught them that fish trick for fertilizer. Like, you put the fish in the ground or something, it helps put nutrients into the ground so that you can actually grow stuff.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
But I don't think my history of Thanksgiving isn't super, super strong. But I don't think it was a trap where they, like, invited the Native Americans over and then murdered them or something.
He said Tony likes South Park. So in the South Park episode, the Pilgrims invite the Native Americans, and then secretly the Pilgrims go back to the Native Americans and they just sprinkle, like, was it like anthrax or like some other, like, or their disease, like the bubonic plague or something. And then the natives went back home, and then they all started dying. And it's a South Park episode.
I don't know what Pucho was talking about, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing what the oppressors do when people try to speak out. Nah, I'm fucking with you. But,
oh, wow.
But no, like, bro, like, certain things, right? In school, they need to teach factual shit, right? This whole Texas has their own history. That to me is fucking crazy. I don't even know how the educational system over there can allow such bullshit. Like, oh, we got our Texas history and then we got the country's history. Like, that to me is fucking wild. But at the same time, you know, over here in Florida, people were taught some stupid shit, and it goes by every day. So I kind of go with Doughboy on his what was it called again though? This
critical race theory.
Yeah, I think that should be allowed. I'm with it.
I think so. Like, I think if they are able to write whatever they want to write and change history whatever way they want, I think we should have something that like puts it right in the middle that allows you to be like, hey, there is forces above us controlling this whole system. This whole system is set up in a very fucked up way, and it needs to change.
Yeah, I mean, so there's, I think, 2 points I want to make. For one, about critical race theory, I personally, the stated goal is, I think, good. I think some of the applications of it, if you go looking around the country, the critical race theory, like curriculums and guidelines and things like that they're going for, some of these states have some really crazy fucking like things they're writing. After this, I'll try to find like some of the stuff and I'll send them to you. We could talk about this again. But it was just some crazy shit just about like how 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4. And by demanding that it does equal 4, like you're a fucking racist type of shit. Like just crazy, some crazy like that.
I definitely need to see this because I haven't heard anything about that.
But on the other hand, I do love it only because it is the most non-fucking problem ever that the conservatives are like fucking, that's all their mind is on, is this critical race theory stuff. The Democrats over there fighting, they're about to pass a historic infrastructure bill if things go well. But you know, there's some infighting right now. Or you know, we're gonna fucking build roads out, internet, all types of all types of shit that we're gonna try to do with this infrastructure bill. And it's like, if these guys are going to be able to pass it because all the conservatives are all fucking off worrying about critical race theory, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just fantastic.
Awesome.
Doubling back to what Tony said, which is where he said, what they need to teach in school are the facts. That is that becomes an issue when like we don't know what the facts are when it comes to history. They're like because there's history, right? There's what happened, and then there's historiography, which is what got written about that, right? And unfortunately, whatever gets written is what's available for us to study. Like, there's obviously physical evidence. You could still go back to some of these places and study them for yourself. And when I say you, I mean like educated people that are in the field of studying physical locations. Like, not me. You know, me and Tony are gonna go see a dirt pit and be like, it's dirt. Like, you know what I'm saying? And someone else could see it and be like, oh, you know, there was this looks like a settlement where there was like 1,500 people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, educated people, like someone who's educated in that field is gonna get different like input from that. But the study of how history gets written is a huge problem. You know, one of the sayings that we learn in history class is that history is written by the victors, right? Yep. So it's like, it doesn't matter if say one group of people were racists and the other people weren't, and they got into a battle and they fought, and let's say the racists win, when they go and write the battle, they're not going to say the evil oppressors won the battle. They're going to write themselves in a positive light. And as that happens throughout history, you end up in a situation where, well, when the people in power of a country, they're the ones that are enslaving people. When they stop enslaving people, they're going to go back. Once they're like, yo, slavery's wrong, when they start writing history books about the like slavery time period, the way that it's going to be presented is as if it wasn't that bad. Because they're going to try to like downplay how bad things were and all that shit. And yeah, the historiography is super complicated. Like sometimes, like especially of the far past, like you know, like Greek like time periods where, you know, like you got fucking all the warring states in Greece and shit like that. There's only certain people that were writing about those things. People that are known to be unreliable, but they're the only people that are writing about it. So the historians, when they're reading this unreliable text, they need to say, oh, this guy said there's 150,000 soldiers in this battle. Like, knowing about Greece and the time period and this, it's like, obviously they can't make an army that big. This guy's unreliable. If he said there's 150,000, it's probably like 10,000 soldiers. Like historians straight up do this, and they make their own history. And I don't mean to say make their own history like it's a fake history, but they have to read into the data that they have to form a timeline that they think makes sense, right? And then that's what we consume. And sometimes what the historians wrote, some of them are biased, or some of them are, you know, maybe they have a conflict of interest in writing about a certain thing, and it gets complicated. So there's no such thing in history about the facts. Like, there are the facts of what actually happened. Is there's no way for us to know what that was.
Yeah,
like especially as you go back in time without technology and all that stuff. Like, even in going forward with technology and all of that shit, you think it's going to be easy for 200 years from now, a civilization like our country to go back and look and figure out what was COVID? Was it created in a lab? Was it like, because the internet's gonna have so much fucking information. Like, what's the true information? Like, it's gonna be interesting for someone to decipher all that shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, here's like I've always thought about this whenever I was like in high school and like college, like learning history, especially in high school, because we would go through like U.S. history, right? There was U.S. history and there was world history. And U.S. history, we would cover like decades at a time. We'd cover the 1950s, the 1960s, and it still felt like there was not enough time spent on each decade, right? But then in the world history class, you're talking about entire civilizations that lasted 1,000 years in the span of 1 week. And it's like, wait, U.S. history gets 5 days for 10 years of history, and this civilization is getting 5 days for 1,000 years worth of history, and their rise and their fall. Like, there's so much that it's just impossible to properly convey. And to the education thing, like what we need to change. Texas is a big problem with reforming education systems in America, because Texas controls the textbooks. Like Texas is the one that their textbooks become the standard for the country. And Texas is a pretty deeply conservative state, so there's a lot of stuff that they pull out because they don't want that to be what is taught at the Texas level, which means it's not what's taught at the nation, the national level.
Yeah, no, I remember all my books saying Texas on them. Now that I think back, in Florida, all of our textbooks had Texas, either Texas Instruments or some shit like that. It's a brand.
Yeah, I mean, there is a place.
I remember the same thing. I didn't know, like what Mateo said. That's interesting. That Texas controls like a lot of the textbooks in the country.
Mm-hmm.
What were you saying, Tony?
No, just summing it all up. Yeah, I do agree. We need to put the facts parts. I get it. It's hard to get the real facts, but we do need to. In order to change our future, we got to learn to see and teach about the past and the wrongs and how we can fix it. So that way that shit can actually change. We need to teach our youth, like, hey, this is what's negative. This is how it negatively impact our society. What are you going to do to change it?
You want to know something that blew my fucking mind? Our friend from Facebook posted something today, and a person commented, what, Jim Crow was like a century ago. I was like, whoa. And she was like a middle-aged white lady. And like Pucho had to come on there and educate her, a grown-ass woman, that there's still people that lived in Jim Crow era alive today. But it was like incredible that some people think that Jim Crow was like 200 years ago.
What are the names?
It's the names don't matter of the people. It's like, just something
of the person.
Yeah, who posted it?
No, it was friends on Facebook. I'll tell you. It's just I don't want to like put anybody's name out there and stuff like that.
It's already out there if they put it on social media.
Yeah,
well,
no,
it's not out there on our podcast though. At least,
yeah.
not that we have a huge audience or anything, but
someone posted some shit, and someone it was some bullshit. Like I don't mean to call it bullshit, but it was some shit like like a lot of people are pissed off about masks, like no masks, no service, or no masks, you're not allowed to enter. And then it said, imagine how people felt under the Jim Crow laws, where they were like, a sign would say no blacks or something like that. Like, and then someone in the comments was like, bullshit. Well, that was so long ago, blah, blah, blah. So I commented, I was like, yo, I don't know if you know, like a third of Americans were alive during Jim Crow. Like, and 1 in 10 Americans today were adults during Jim Crow laws. So it's like there's still plenty of people that experienced like the racism from the state, like like fucking what's the word, like overt racism, like just straight up saying black people are lesser than in the rule books, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Samuel Jackson talks, like I know, just as an example, he's an actor, like, but he's a famous person who talked like when he was a kid, he remembers living under Jim Crow. I remember when I went to college, Lisi's coworker, when I was in college, we had this thing where it was like we had a talk to, like, it was some silly like fucking assignment where it was like find some old people that are like older than some age and have them just talk about their life and just like write some shit about it, right? And I remember one of the people we interviewed was one of Lisa's coworkers, and he was talking about how there were like, because he lived under Jim Crow laws, and he was talking about how he, like, some students were like protesting like Jim Crow shit, and how American soldiers straight up rammed the gates of their school with fucking battle tanks. And it was like, people live that shit, like, you know what I'm saying? And the lady responded, who do you know that was alive in 1917? It was her response. I was like, oh my God. Like, Jim Crow ended in 65, like, or 66 or something like that. Like,
I think it bled into the 70s a little bit. Some of the actual, like, removal of the systems, like, because
sure. I'm saying, like, the day that the government was like, striking those laws off the books, 1965. This woman's talking some 1917. It's like, yeah, I don't know anybody alive who was born in 1917, but I'm sure I'm sure someone is, but I don't know anybody that old. But it's like, how's that even relevant? Like, so she formed an opinion. She didn't know anything about what Jim Crow even was, when it ended, or anything like that. And she has some super strong opinion about something. And it's like, yeah, maybe she could have used a little critical race theory in her education growing up.
Well, this has been an interesting conversation. I may have to rethink my policy that you can't be racist against white people because I do agree that you can be prejudiced and bigoted against white people. And the way that I'm using language, like maybe that is racism. Maybe I should reframe my thinking.
No, absolutely, because what Pucho said is an absolute point. Like, you're losing half of the room as soon as you say that. This
is going to be one of those rare instances of someone on the internet saying I was wrong. Pucho gave me some good facts. I may have to rethink my opinion.
Yeah, well, that's what the 1-up's here for, right?
It is indeed.
Giving ourselves that constant 1-up.
Always the 1-up. Well, that's definitely a good episode. We kind of third topic kind of just slipped in, and I think it was a perfect topic, honestly.
Yeah,
from what we originally had. But if you stuck with us this long, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that follow and like button on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and IG. If you love us enough in Facebook, go ahead and hit that YouTube link in the comments and go to our YouTube page and hit that follow button and subscribe. And we thank y'all for the support and comments throughout each episode. And go 1-up yourself. Peace. That's a
all right. We got to do pictures, photos.
We were bound to have